First, we should pay respect to the Buddha. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for giving one opportunity to join the meditation conference, Seoul International Buddhist Expo 2020. I would like to explain briefly the meditation process of Samatha and Vipassana by the timetable, the only way for realization of Nibbana. The Buddha's dispensation. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Vijayans at Kodigama. There the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus. It is bhikkhus because of not understanding Ananubodha and not penetrating Abhidveda, the Four Noble Truths. Chetona Ariya Sajjana, that you and I have for a long time wandered the round of rebirth. What for? Number one, the noble truth of suffering. Number two, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Dukkha Samudaya Ariya Satya. Number three, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Dukkha Nirodha Ariya Satya. Number four, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patippada Ariya Satya. The Four Noble Truths are thus the foundations of the Buddha's dispensation. The Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths for us to realize the third Noble Truth, Nibbana, which is to put a complete end to rebirth and therefore suffering. But that is not possible without fulfilling the right task. The four tasks that need to be done. What are the tasks that need to be done to be free from suffering? We shall first quote from the Kuddagara Sutta of the Siddha Sanyutta. There, the Buddha says, indeed, bhikkhus, if anyone said, without having built the lower structure of a big house, I shall erect the upper structure, such a possibility does not exist. So too, if anyone said, without penetrating the noble truth of suffering according to reality, Dukkha Ariya Satya Yatha Buddha Nabi Samijja, without penetrating the noble truth of the right, the origin of suffering according to reality, Dukkha Samudaya Ariya Satya Yatha Buddha Nabi Samijja, without penetrating the noble truth of the cessation of suffering according to reality, Dukkha Nirodha Ariya Satya Yatha Buddha Nabi Samijja. Without penetrating the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering according to reality, Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patippada Ariya Satya Yatha Buddha Nabi Samijja. I shall make a complete end of suffering. Sama Dukkha Sa Adakiriya Dukkha Grishamiti. Such a possibility does not exist. Nidantana Vijati. This means that to make a complete end of suffering, one needs to penetrate each of the Four Noble Truths with one's own direct practical knowledge. In the Dhamma Bodhana Sutta of the Sitya Sanyutta, the Buddha explains such penetration as a particular task that needs to be done for each noble truth. Indeed, this noble truth of suffering needs to be fully known. Parinyaya. Number 2. Indeed, this noble truth of the origin of suffering needs to be abundant. Ahadava. Number 3. Indeed, this noble truth of the cessation of suffering needs to be realized. Sichikadava. Number 4. Indeed, this noble truth of the practice leading to the cessation of suffering needs to be developed. Bhavidava. According to the Buddha, there is only one way to accomplish these four tasks. He explains it at the beginning of the Mahasriprana Sutta. He says, the only way bhikkhus is this path: for being's purification, for sorrow, lamentations, vagami, for pain in displeasures, disappearance, for the ways attainment, for Nibbana realization. That is the four foundations of mindfulness. Chattaro Satipatthana. Also in the Uddiya Sutta of the Anguttara Nikaya, the Venerable Ananda explains that the only gate Ekadvara to Nibbana is the four foundations of mindfulness. Number 1, body contemplation. Number 2, feeling contemplation. Vedananupasana, Vedananupasana. Number 3, consciousness contemplation, Chaitanupasana. Number 4, Dhamma contemplation, Dhammanupasana. In some other suttas, we get to know that the four foundations of mindfulness is samatha, vipassana in practice. For example, in the Vinaya Sutta of the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha says, in what ways are the things that need to be developed by direct knowledge? Samatha in vipassana, samatha vipassana. These vehicles are called the things that need to be developed. The Anguttara Nikaya commentary explains that the development of samatha by direct knowledge means to develop mental one-pointedness ekaggata, which corresponds to concentration samadhi. This is explained as the first, second, third, and fourth immaterial jhanas, plus the four immaterial jhanas, which altogether are called the eight attainments, Attasamapadiyo. They are all types of absorption, concentration. Appana Samadhi. Samadhi includes also excess concentration, Upajjhara Samadhi, by which is made deep concentration that is similar to the concentration that immediately precedes jhana concentration. The Anguttara Nikaya commentary also explains that the development of vipassana is to develop insight knowledge of the many types of formation. That means understanding the intrinsic nature, Sabhava Lakkhana of the ultimate materiality, mentality, and their causes, according to their characteristic function, manifestation, and proximate cause. With one's direct knowledge, after such understanding, one needs to understand the common nature, Samanya Lakkhana of those phenomena, aspects of impermanence, nature, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Thus, by referring to such authoritative texts, can we then understand that when the Buddha in such and such a sutta speaks of concentration, the jhana, development of loving kindness or the kasinas, here is in fact talking about samatha. In the same way, we can understand that when the Buddha in such and such a sutta speaks of contemplating the five aggregates, their origination, their extinction. When we speaks of one's having directly and fully to know the five aggregates, when he speaks of seeing the impermanent, suffering, and non-self nature of the five aggregates, etc., he isn't talking about vipassana, samatha practice. The development of samatha is the development of concentration. Aggregate samadhi khanda. Deep concentration produces light, and jhana concentration produces aesthetically bright, radiant light. It is what the Buddha calls the light of wisdom in Loka. Using that light, one is able to discern ultimate materiality, Ramatha Rupa, ultimate mentality, Ramatha Nama, and their causes. They are the object of insight meditation. The vipassana rage, vipassana chara. Thus, in the Mahasri Brahmana Sutta, the Buddha teaches what do we call insight business, chana, vipassana padaka chana, chana concentration that one develops as the basis for practicing vipassana. Samatha is the foundation of mindfulness. There are 40 subjects listed in Visuddhimagga for samatha practice. Among them, 12 are the body contemplations described by the Buddha in the Mahasri Brahmana Sutta. Number 1, contemplating the in and out breath, anapana. One can reach the fourth jhana. Number 2, contemplating the repulsive nature of the 32 parts of body. One can reach the first jhana. Contemplating the elements, one can reach concentration close to and similar to excess concentration. Number 4, contemplating the 9 types of corpses, one can reach the first jhana. Samatha, body contemplation, anapanasati. Let us then take mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, as an example. As we know in the 4 foundations of mindfulness, Kaya-nupassana, Vedana-nupassana, Citta-nupassana, Dhamma-nupassana, mindfulness of breathing, fulfills body contemplation, Kaya-nupassana. The Buddha explains it for the attainment of the four Anapana jhanas, which is samatha practice, tranquility meditation. In the Mahasrivarana Sutta, the Buddha's explanation, here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu gone to the forest, or gone to the foot of a tree, or gone to a secluded place, sits down having crossed his legs, sit his body straight, having mindfulness put forward to the meditation object. He breathes in mindfully, he breathes out mindfully. Places for meditation. The Buddha said, gone to the forest, or gone to the foot of a tree, or gone to a secluded place. That refers to places suitable for practicing anapanasati. But if there are no such places, you must simply ignore all noise and disturbances, which means you can practice anapanasati anywhere. Posture for meditation. The Buddha said, sit down having crossed the legs, sit his body straight. That refers to the posture most suitable for anapanasati. You must keep your body naturally straight and comfortable in order to sit for a long time without tiredness. Breathing mindfully. The Buddha said, having mindfulness put forward to the meditation object. He breathes in mindfully, he breathes out mindfully. That refers to anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, being mindful of the breath. To be mindful of the breath is to know and pay attention to the breath attentively as it goes in and out at your nostrils or your upper lip. When he breathes in or out loud, he understands. I breathe in or out loud. When he breathes in or out short, he understands. I breathe in or out short. I shall breathe in or out, experiencing the whole breath body. Thus he trains. Number 4, I shall breathe in and out, tranquilizing the body contemplation. Thus he trains. As your mindfulness of breathing develops, you gain to understand naturally that your breath is sometimes long, sometimes short. You must be calmly aware of the breath, no matter it is long or short. When your mindfulness of breathing develops further, you begin naturally aware of the beginning, middle, and end of each in-breath and each out-breath as it passes by the nostrils or at the upper lip. That is what meant by experiencing the whole breath body. You should pay attention to it all the time. Lastly, the Buddha said, the bhikkhus breathes in and out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. Here, bodily formation, kaya sankhara, means the breath passing in and out through the nose. As your mindfulness of breathing develops further, your breath becomes more and more subtle, more and more tranquil. So all you do is to try all the time mindfully to comprehend the subtle breath. If you can be aware of the subtle breath, in such a way for a long time, say for 2 or 3 hours. Your concentration will become even deeper than before. Eventually, you may experience the nimitta, a sign of concentration. 3 stages of nimitta. To different meditators, the sign of concentration, the nimitta, may appear differently. It is because of their different perception of the breath. It may appear as the smoke to another, as cotton wool, or simply as light, etc. In the beginning, however, the nimitta is usually gray. That is the Parikama nimitta, preparatory sign. Then your concentration develops the nimitta and breath unified together. At that time, the meditator should not pay attention to the nimitta, but should pay attention to the breath only. When the nimitta remains for longer and longer and concentration develops further, the concentrated mind automatically will stick to the nimitta. When the mind sticks to the nimitta, then you should pay attention to the nimitta. When concentration develops further, the nimitta becomes white, which is the Ogaha nimitta, non-inside. Even further, it becomes bright and transparent, which is the Paribaga nimitta, counterpart sign. The brightness is the light of wisdom, Pinyaloka. The Anapana Paribaga nimitta is the object of the full absorption. Concentration based on the in and out breath. It is the object of the Anapana jhanas. 5 jhana factors. You continue to mindful on the Anapana Paribaga nimitta for longer and longer periods. If you can concentrate well on concentrated Paribaga nimitta, your mind will be completely absorbed inside nimitta. That complete absorption is called full absorption. That full absorption is jhana concentration. Once you can maintain the 5 jhana for 2 or 3 hours, you may try to descend the 5 jhana factors upon emerging from jhana. You descend the area in your heart where the Bhuanga consciousness rests. That is the heart space. The Bhuanga mind related materiality. Bhuanga mind related materiality appears bright and luminous and looks like a mirror in the heart. That is the mind job. And when you descend the mind job, you will see the Anapana Paribaga nimitta appear there. Then you descend the 5 jhana factors. Number 1, initial application, mudaka. Number 2, sustained application, mujara. Number 3, rapture, piti. Number 4, bliss, sukha. Number 5, one-pointedness, ekagata. Firstly, you descend the 5 jhana factors one by one. After what? All 5 at once. The 5 masteries. Next, to develop the 5 masteries of the 5 jhana. Number 1, mastery in entering the 5 jhana when you want to enter. Number 2, mastery in remaining in the 5 jhana for as long as you have determined. Number 3, mastery in emerging from the 5 jhana at the determined time. Number 4, mastery in advantage your attention to the patterns of the jhana after you have emerged from it. 5. Mastery in reviewing the patterns of the jhana. After that, to attain the anavana second jhana, you reflect on the disadvantage of the first jhana and the advantage of the second jhana. The former is close to the 5 hindrances, and it has the 2 gross factors of initial and sustained obligation, which the later does not have, and determined to remove the 2 corrosive factors. You concentrate on the anavana vibhaga nimitta again to enter into jhana. Then you emerge from the jhana, and if you see only 3 jhana factors, rapture, bliss, and one-pointedness, piti, sukha, ekaggata, it means you have successfully attained the anavana second jhana, and you develop to 5 masteries of that jhana. In the same way, you remove the factor of rapture to attain the third jhana, which has only bliss and one-pointedness, and you remove the factor of bliss to attain the 4th jhana, which has only one-pointedness in equanimity. You develop the 5 masteries for both jhanas. As you progress through the jhanas, your breath becomes more and more tranquil, more and more subtle. With the 4th jhana, your breath stops. That is how you fully tranquilize the bodily formation. The 4 levels of jhana are also called the 5 material sphere jhanas, Rupavachara jhana, because they may cause rebirth in the 5 material ring. In the same way, you remove the factor of rapture to attain the 3rd jhana, which has only bliss and one-pointedness, and you remove the factor of bliss to attain the 4th jhana, which has only one-pointedness in equanimity. You develop the 5 masteries for both jhanas. As you progress through the jhanas, your breath becomes more and more tranquil, more and more subtle. With the 4th jhana, your breath stops. That is how you fully tranquilize the bodily formation. The 4 levels of jhana are also called the 5 material sphere jhanas, Rupavachara jhana, because they may cause rebirth in the 5 material ring. But the Buddha does not encourage us to develop jhanas for that reason. He encourages us to develop jhana as a basis for practicing vipassana meditation. As inside basis jhana, vipassana padaka jhana, as in the samadhi sutta of Sijja Sanyutta, samadhi bhikkhave bhaveta samahito bhikkhave bhikkhu yatha buddham bhajanati. Develop concentration bhikkhus. A bhikkhu with concentrated mind understands according to reality, to strengthen the power of concentration for better vipassana practice. The meditator could further develop the other samatha practices, for example, the 10 kasinas, etc., the 4 immediate jhanas, and the 40 ways of mind mastery training, Vipassana practice. The commentary to the Mahasribrana Sutta explains that the reason why the Buddha begins Dhamma's contemplation by discussing how the Bhikkhu abandons the 5 hindrances is that you need to develop samatha before you can develop vipassana. The remaining 4 possessions, Dhamma contemplation, are namely all about vipassana, contemplating Dhammas and Dhammas, concerning the 5 aggregates, 6 phases, thereby developing the 7 enlightenment factors and penetrating the 4 noble truths. Aim to break down the delusion of competence. The purpose of Vipassana practice is to break down what we call the delusion of competence, and materialities and mentalities. The delusion that materiality and mentality is compact, when in fact it is no such thing. The 3 delusions of compactness. There are 3 delusions of compactness. Number 1, thinking that materiality or mentality is one compact continuity that persists unchanged. There is the delusion of continuity compactness, Santatigana. Number 2, thinking that materiality or mentality is a synthetic whole, which is thinking that the kalabas are ultimate materiality. This is the delusion of synthesis, compactness, samuhagana. Number 3, thinking that materiality or mentality depends on a self that controls materiality or mentality. This is the delusion of passion, compactness, krichagana. In addition to that, there is one more delusion of compactness, mentality, thinking that there is a knowledge, there is a knowing self. The knower knows, the doer knows, the doer knows, that which knows, etc. You may also think ultimate materiality and mentality change, but the knowing mind does not change. Aramanagana. You are practicing Vipassana meditation to overcome these delusions. Number 3, the 3 meditation subjects, Vipassana range. In the Mahasribrana Sutta, the 5 aggregate 6 phases and the noble truth of origin of suffering are the 3 sessions by which the Buddha describes the Vipassana range, Vipassana Chara, the range that needs to be contemplated with the insight knowledge before you can practice the 4 noble truths going to reality. Even so, the Vipassana range is fundamentally always the same: materiality, rupa, mentality, nama, and their causes. The Buddha also calls them the materiality body, rupa kaya, mentality body, nama kaya, and the dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Anyway, Vipassana is always made up of neither more nor less than the 3 meditation subjects. The material meditation subject, Rupa Kamatana, also called appreciation of the material, Rupa Parigaha, the mental meditation subject, Nama Kamatana, also called apprehension of the immaterial, Arupa Parigaha, the dependent origination meditation subject, Padija Samubhada, also called the apprehension of dependent origination, Teacher Parigaha Jnana. The practices of these 3 meditation subjects are explained according to the 4 stages of contemplation prescribed by the Buddha in the Mahasriprana Sutta. Vipassana meditation, first stage. With the first stage, Mahasriprana Sutta describes the contemplation of the body kaya internally and externally. Thus, he avoids contemplating the body in the body, kaya nupasi, internally ijada, or he avoids contemplating the body in the body, externally kahida. He avoids contemplating body in the body, both internally and externally. Here, what is the body kaya? In the Mahanidhana Sutta of the Digha Nikaya, the Buddha speaks of 2 bodies, the mentality body, Namagaya, and the materiality body, Rupagaya. Thus, in his explanation of Anapanasati in the Risamhita Magga, the Venerable Sariputta explains that the body to be contemplated in Anapanasati is those 2 bodies. In the Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha speaks also of the in and out breath as a body kaya that is included in the materiality body, and also calls the produced body. Producer's body, Karja kaya, is materiality body produced by 4 causes: karma, mind, chaita, temperature, uttu, nutriment, hara. Why are they called bodies? Because they arise as a bodies. Mentality arises as a body consciousness together with mental factors, and materiality arises as a body of different types of materiality as Rupa Kalapas, one of karma, of consciousness, of temperature and nutriment. Vipassana is the meditation on those 2 bodies and their causes. We shall now describe Vipassana beginning with the meditation on the materiality body. The materiality meditation, Rupa Kamatana. Materiality meditation, 4 elements of meditation in brief. The Buddha teaches materiality meditation either in brief or in detail. In the Mahasriprana Sutta, he teaches in brief. In further, a bhikkhu reviews the body, the very body, however it may be placed or disposed, in terms of the elements. Thus, there is in this body the earth element, Prithvi Dhatu, the water element, Abho Dhatu, the fire element, Tejo Dhatu, the wind element, Vayu Dhatu. How to descend the 12 characteristics, 4 characteristics of 4 elements. Materiality meditation, we also call 4 elements meditation. Chatu Dhatu, Bhavadhana, Pautana in those four elements are to be recognized by their characteristics. In the Dhamma Sangani, the Buddha describes materiality according to 12 characteristics. Up element, hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness. Water element, flowing, cohesion. Fire element, heat and cold. Wind element, supporting, cushion. Based on the light of wisdom you have developed with anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, jhana, you are now able to discern these 12 characteristics easily and develop the four elements meditation quite quickly. You need to discern these 12 characteristics first, frequently in one part of your body, then in another until the whole body. With practice, you will be able to discern all 12 characteristics almost at once. Further, you will then be able to discern the 12 characteristics as just the four elements, earth, water, fire, and wind. How to see and analyze the Rupa Kalabhas? As your mindfulness and concentration on the four elements develop, you will perceive your body in different ways. It will first appear as a grey body, then as a white body, and then as a translucent body like a block of ice. When you discern the four elements in that translucent body, it emits brilliant light. Then you should proceed to look for small gaps in this translucent block to discern the space element, Akasa Dhatu. The space element forms the boundary between the Kalabhas. Once you have discerned the space element and translucent block will break down into small particles. There are the Rupa Kalabhas, clusters of materiality, the smallest conceptual materiality clusters, but not the ultimate materiality. Even so, at this stage, you have penetrated the delusion of continuity, compactness of materiality. Then you need to overcome the delusion of synthesis, compactness. To do that, you start to discern the four elements of each Kalabha. Then you discern the four elements methodologically together with various kinds of derived materiality, Upada Rupa, for example, color, odor, flavor, and nutritive essence, altogether. You discern and analyze 28 types of materiality in Rupa Kalabhas of the 6 sense phases, 6 sense doors, and the 42 parts. Also, you will proceed to analyze the materialities by way of the origins of the Kalabhas. In this way, you will understand the ultimate materiality that are consistently arising and perishing away. Then you analyze the ultimate materiality of the whole body, followed by that of the external world, that of other beings, and that of animals. Contemplating as materiality, to understand that the body is nothing other than those types of materiality that are arising and standing and perishing thus showing their characteristic of being transformed. Robana, you proceed by taking all types of materiality at once. Contemplate it as a materiality, rupa, or material phenomena, rupa dhamma. There is no soul, no self, etc. That then is a brief description of the materiality meditation subject, Rupa Kamatana. We are just trying to give you an idea of what the only way of practicing materiality meditation. Next we shall try to describe only way for mentality meditation, Kamatana, Nama Kamatana. Mentality meditation. In the Mahasri Vrana Sutta, the Buddha describes mentality meditation on feeling under feeling contemplation, vipassana, and meditation on the remaining mental factors. He describes under Dhamma's contemplation, vipassana. For example, unwholesome mental factors under the section of the 5 hindrances, Nivarana, and wholesome factors under the 8 enlightenment factors, Bhujanga, also under the aggregate Khanda section. The Buddha describes the bhikkhus contemplating the feeling aggregates Varna Khanda, perception aggregates Sanya Khanda, informations aggregate Sankhara Khanda, which is the remaining 50 mental factors. Mentality meditation on concrete consciousness. The Buddha describes under consciousness contemplation, Chittanupassana. The Buddha describes all 81 types of mundane consciousness as 8 pairs of consciousness. The remaining 8 supramundane types of consciousness are, however, not the object of vipassana. Discerning the jhana attainment mental process. After emerging from a particular jhana, you can start to discern the phenomena of that jhana dhamma, starting from the 5 jhana factors. As mentioned in the samatha practice, once you have become skillful at discerning the jhana factors, you then begin with the mentality meditation with either consciousness vijnana, the mental factor contact phasa, or the mental factor feeling vedana. Choose the most prominent one. Say you want to begin with consciousness vijnana. You re-establish your first jhana, first anapana jhana, emerge from it. Then discern the jhana consciousness as they arise successively many million times. Then again re-establish your first anapana jhana, emerge from it, and now discern the consciousness plus contact. Follow this procedure to discern all the mental formations of each past jhana and consciousness. First one mental formation, then at one so you discern two, at once so you discern three, etc. as there are altogether 34 mental formations. Altogether, rising of a jhana consciousness. One first jhana consciousness and then 33 mental factors, including the 5 jhana factors. You need to discern all these 34 mental formations. After discerning the 34 mental formations of the 5 jhana, discern all the mental formations of the consciousness that comprise a mental process of the Pajana. And then you have completed your analysis of the all mentality of the Pajana. You need in the same way to do this, analyze the mentality of the second, third, and fourth phenomena jhanas. In all the other jhanas you may have attained. Having become skillful at discerning those many types of mentality, you then need to discern the mental formations of the vital processes and sensual mental processes, taking sight as an object, sound, odor, flavor, tangible and Dhamma objects. That way you can discern and define all the types of consciousness within your reach. Contemplated and defined as mentality. Again, the process of determining, discerning the various mental formations and mental process is to understand that the mind is nothing other than those types of mentality having the characteristic of bending towards and adhering to the object, Namana. They are rising and surrounding and perishing. There is no soul, no self, etc. That is why you need how to contemplate them as all just mentality, Nama. Contemplated as materiality, mentality, and materiality. Having now discerned mentality, you need to discern and analyze the materiality that they depend upon. You see, you use your skill in the materiality meditation to discern and analyze the heart kalabas, dependent on which the sensual sphere mental processes and jhana processes arise. Also, you discern and analyze the eye through the sight is seen, the internal ways, and the sight that is see, the external ways, the ear and the sound, etc. Without what you discern and define both mentality and materiality as mentality, nama rupa, mentality, materiality, nama rupa, etc. External materiality and mentality. You need also to repeat the procedure of discerning and defining mentality and materiality mentioned above externally. Then seeing mentality and materiality together internally and externally, you must contemplate and define them as no man, no woman, no deva, no Brahma, no self, only materiality, only mentality and materiality. Then you have completed the first stage of Vipassana as described in the Mahasri Bhyana Sutta, which is contemplating the mentality body and materiality body internally and externally. This Vipassana knowledge is also called the mentality materiality definition knowledge, Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana. Vipassana meditation, second stage. Then there is the second stage of Vipassana. It is the practice to discern the rising and perishing of mentality, materiality. He avoids contemplated rising phenomena, samudaya dhamma in the body. Or he avoids contemplating perishing phenomena, vaya dhamma in the body. Or he avoids contemplating both rising and perishing samudaya vaya dhamma phenomena in the body. The two types of arising parishes. According to the Visuddhi Magga, Risamija Magga, there are two types of arising in parishes. Causal arising in parishes, Pichya Udiyavya. When you see that because of ignorance formations arise, and because of formations consciousness arises, etc. That is direct knowledge of the causal arising of the aggregates dependent origination in regular order. No longer, when you see that with the cessation of ignorance, formation ceases, and with the cessation of formations, consciousness ceases. That is direct knowledge of the causal arising of the aggregate, dependent origination in negative order. Padilama. Momentary arising in perishing, Kanada Udiyavya. This refers to the formations moment by moment arising in perishing. They are characteristic of impermanence. The second stage of the practice deals with the discernment of these two arising in perishing of the mentality and materiality. To do that, you first systematically discern the arising of the mentality and materiality, the dependent origination. How to discern causal arising? The Buddha taught four methods to discern dependent origination, and there is a fifth method taught by the Venerable Sariputta, recorded in the Brisamvita Magga. We shall look at only the two methods we usually teach at the meditation centers. They are what we call the fifth method. In the first method, the Mahanidhana Sutta on the Digha Nikaya, and the Nidhana Vagga in the Samyutta Nikaya. Both the methods involve discerning the five aggregates in Chakanta of the present, of the past, and the future. All causes and effects operate over three lives. The fifth method will be practiced prior to the first method in our center. The fifth method, there are five causes for the accumulation of wholesome and unwholesome karma, like after like. Their karmic potency produces the effects of the karma in future lives. Five causes. Number one, ignorance, vijja. Number two, craving, tanha. Number three, clinging, upadana. Number four, formations of karma, sankhara. Number five, karma existence, karma power, karmic potency. Five effects: consciousness, vijnana, mentality, materiality, nama, rupa. Six phases: sadhayarana, contact, phasa, feeling, vedana. To discern the past, the fifth method. By fifth method, you begin with the exercise of discerning the nearest past. First, you intentionally perform a wholesome deed. Let's say, making an offering of either candles or flowers, or increase it at a pagoda, incense at a pagoda, or to a Buddha image. Based on this wholesome deed, you should make a wish for the rebirth you desire. For example, to become a bhikkhu, nun or deva. However, if you want to be reborn as a Brahma, you should re-establish the Anapana jhana as your wholesome deed. and then make a wish for the rebirth as a Brahma. Afterward, you should go and sit in meditation and either the fourth channel and then the light of wisdom is bright, brilliant and radiant. Then you descend internal light and also external mentality, materiality, Namarupa again and again. This is necessary because the discernment of past mentality materiality is similar to the discernment of external mentality and materiality. Then you should discern the mentality, materiality that occurred when you performed the wholesome deed just before the meditation sitting. You discern them as external objects, then the image of your wholesome deed, offering or enduring jhana will appear. You should then discern the four elements in that image. When the image breaks into rupa kalabas, you discern all the different types of the materiality of the six doors, especially the three sensitive types of materiality of 5 heart waves. That will enable you to discern the long series of Bhanga consciousness arising one after the other in between the arising of mindful processes. Then you go back forward along the series of mindful processes to find the 5 causes arising during the exercise. Ignorance is deluded to think that a bhikkhu truly exists. Number 2, craving is the desire and longing for life is bhikkhu. Number 3, clinging is the attachment to life as a bhikkhu. Karma, formations, sankhara are the wholesome volition. Kusala Chetana of the offering of entering into jhana, and number of karma as they are karmic potency. You may notice that this discernment is done based on ultimate reality, nama, rupa, as mentioned earlier. According to the ultimate sense, there is no man, no woman, no deva, and no Brahma, where is only mentality and materiality. When you are thus able to discern the mentality, materiality of the recent past, you should go back to the more distant past, to some time previous to the offering or the entering jhana. In the same way, discern the mentality, materiality, then go back a little further again. Repeat the process that is 1 day ago, 1 week ago, 1 month ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, etc. Eventually, you will be able to discern right back to the mentality, materiality, associated with the past consciousness of your present life, the rebirth, again consciousness, Patishanti Chaita. That mentality, materiality is the conception of your present life. When looking for the causes of your conception, you then go back even further into the previous life. Then you will see either the mentality, materiality at the time near death in your previous life, or the object of the near death process, manasana viti, of your past life. That is the last mental process of your past life, before the arising of the death consciousness. When you have discerned the object of the near-death process of your past life, You will then be able to discern all the 5 causes that produced this life's resultant aggregates vibhaka khanda. You then discern the relationship between the 5 past causes and the present results, and in the same way, you discern more past lives and even future lives. The past method. The knowledge you obtained in the 5th method about the 5 causes in the past life is applied in the discernment of the first method of dependent origination. The first method is the methodological discernment of dependent origination in regular order, and what precoce is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Because of ignorance, which are nature, formations come into existence, sankhara. Because of formations, consciousness, sankhara, nature, vijnana. Because of consciousness, mentality, materiality, vijnana, nature, nama, rupa. Because of mentality, materiality, the 6 phases, nama, rupa, nature, salayana. Because of the 6 phases, contact, salayana, nature, paso. Because of content, feeling, asa, nature, vedana. Because of feeling, craving, vedana, nature, dana. Because of craving, clinging, dana, nature, upadana. Because of clinging, existence, upadana, nature, bo. Because of existence, birth, bhava, nature, jadi. Because of birth, jadi, nature, aging and death, charamarana, sorrow, sokha, lamentation, parideva, paridokha, displeasure, dominanza, and despair, upayasa, came into existence, sambodhi. Such is the origination, samudaya of this whole mass of suffering. This is called because the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Dukkha samudaya riya sejja. From the practice of the first method and 5th method above, you see the dependent origination of the aggregates, mentality, materiality. As we mentioned before, they are also called contemplating causal arising. Ichya do udiya. Such vipassana knowledge is also called cause apprehension knowledge. Ichya prikaha jnana. Causal arise and perish. Ichya do udiya. It is not enough to just understand the arising of the mentality, materiality. Both the arising and perishing need to be discerned to overcome not only the wrong view, mithya-ditti of its eternal self or soul, but also to overcome the wrong view of annihilation of that. You need to see with your direct knowledge that but in that occurs dependent on causes, that the remainder cessation of birth, and that occurs those causes cease. That is dependent on origination in regular order, nuloma brijaso order, in negative order, pradiloma smoke order. Dependent on origination in negative order, pradiloma is the negative of all the 12 factors of dependent origination. The cause factors are negated with the attainment of arahantship because of the power of the aham, ignorance, craving, and clinging cease to be. This is the final cessation of the final kilesa pranivana. And because of that, the formation of karma and its karmic potency ceases to be. Because those 5 causes have ceased, the wholesome and unwholesome karmas that the Arhat accumulated before Arhatship have no power, no more power to produce future existence after death. The Arhat's death is also known as the final cessation of aggregates, Khanda Pranivana. Discernment of dependent origination in negative order is discerning that future arhatship either in this life or in future life. It is discerning the future complete cessation of the process of arising of mentality materiality. Dependent origination in negative order. In what equals is the noble truth of cessation of suffering, dukkha nirodha realization, with the ignorance as a remainder that faded away in cessation, vijaya deva assis of viraga nirodha, there is formation cessation, sankhara nirodha. With the formation cessation, there is consciousness cessation, sankhara nirodha, vijnana nirodha. With the consciousness cessation, there is mentality, materiality cessation, vijnana nirodha, nama rupa nirodha. With mentality, materiality cessation, there is the 6 phases cessation. Nama Rupa Nirodha Salayana Nirodha. With the 6 phases cessation, there is context cessation, Salayana Nirodha Phasa Nirodha. With the context cessation, there is feeling cessation, Phasa Nirodha Vedana Nirodha. With the feeling cessation, there is craving cessation, Vedana Nirodha Dana Nirodha. With the craving cessation, there is clinging cessation, Tanha Nirodha, Upadana Nirodha. With the clinging cessation, there is existence cessation, Upadana Nirodha, Bhava Nirodha. With the existence cessation, there is birth cessation, Bhava Nirodha, Jadi Nirodha. With the birth cessation, Jadi Nirodha, aging and death, Jaramarana, sorrow, soka, lamentation, bridgewa, pain, dukkha, displeasure, dominasa, and despair, upayasa, cease, nirojandi. Such is the cessation, nirodha of this whole mass of suffering. This is called because the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. When you can know and see dependent origination in both regular order and negative order, with your own direct knowledge, that direct knowledge will eradicate the different types of wrong view, internally views, and annihilation views. That then is the discernment of causal arising and perishing. Each other Uriya. Having then seen causal arising and perishing of mentality materiality, you need to contemplate them according to their 3 common characteristics. And Saminya Lakkhana. Those are the 3 characteristics, Lakkhana, that you need to contemplate in Vipassana. Because of the causes arises, the gains arise. With the causes perish, without remainder, the gains perish to without remainder. This is their causal information characteristic. Nature Lakkhana. Both the causes and effects are always oppressed by this continuous rising and perishing. which is their suffering characteristic, dukkha lakkhana. Being in this way, impermanent and suffering, says the Buddha, they can have no permanent entity, but no permanent self, which is their non-self characteristic. Momentary arising and perishing, Kanada Udiyavya. How do this? Momentary arising and perishing. Then there is the discernment of momentary rising and perishing, Kanada Udiyavya. It refers to the aggregates, moment by moment, rising and perishing, and becoming otherwise. As soon as they arise, the aggregates perish extremely quickly, which is their impermanent characteristic, Nisha Lakkhana. They are always operated by this continuous rising and perishing, which is their suffering characteristic, dukkha lakkhana. Being in this way, impermanent and suffering, says the Buddha, they can have no permanent entity, no permanent self, which is their non-self characteristic. You need to contemplate the three characteristics, the lakkhana of the five aggregates of past, future, and present, internal and external, gross and subtle, inferior and superior, far and near. Likewise, you need to contemplate these three characteristics of the all seven that we mentioned earlier: the eye-based, the sight-based, eye consciousness, eye contact, and the feelings arising because of eye contact, perception, volition, craving, obligation, etc. For the ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, etc., including the formations of the jhana attainments you have attained, and the 12 factors of dependent origination. Such vipassana knowledge is also called comprehension knowledge, samvasana jnana. Furthermore, we usually teach meditators various ways to strengthen their comprehension of the characteristics of formations. And when the meditator can see them clearly moment by moment, such vipassana knowledge is called the rising and perishing contemplation knowledge, Uriyavya, Nupassana, Jnana. Avoiding the wrong path. At this early stage of developing vipassana meditation, you may experience light, knowledge, joy, tireless tranquility, very refined happiness, very strong confidence in decision, very well balanced and continuous exertion, very well established mindfulness and equanimity that you have never experienced before. Due to experience these experiences may be very easily misinterpreted as part impression. The attainment such men, you may develop the wrong view in conceit. This is what we call the insight contamination vipassana practices that lead meditators of the right path into the wrong path. With the guidance from a sufficiently skilled teacher, you will realize that those contentments are also impermanent suffering in yourself. But when you are able even to suppress the defilements, cut back on the path, and develop what we call central vipassana knowledge, Bhava vipassana. With this, you will then have completed the second stage of vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation, first stage. The practice of vipassana in the first stage was given by the Buddha in the Anapanasati session of the Mahatripurana Sutta. Or mindfulness that there is the body. Body is established just sufficient for knowledge. Yava Deva Jnana Madhya, sufficient for mindfulness. Pradeshati Madhya. Here the Buddha referring to the material progress through the higher and higher vipassana knowledge. The first 13 vipassana knowledge. There are in all 16 vipassana knowledge. The first 4 we have already discussed. The mentality material definition knowledge, Nama Rupa Paricaya Jnana. The cause apprehended knowledge, Picha Veda Jnana. The comprehension knowledge, Samadhana Jnana. The arising, arising contemplation knowledge, Uriya Vipassana Jnana. The third stage of Vipassana, which we are now discussing, is the next 9 Vipassana knowledge. The dissolution contemplation knowledge, Vipassana. Here you contemplate especially the perishing dissolution of the aggregates to give you even more powerful knowledge of the characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Again, I contemplated only the perishing of the mentality, materiality. You will repeat all various ways trained in stage 2 mentioned above to attain the rest of the knowledge. The person's appearance knowledge. Yadupatana Jnana. The danger contemplation knowledge, Adinavanupasana Jnana. Dischargement contemplation knowledge, Nirvidanupasana Jnana. The release longing knowledge, Muchidupanyata Jnana. The reflection contemplation knowledge, Padisankhanupasana Jnana. The formations equanimity knowledge, Sankharupaka Jnana. The knowledge is then the highest of the mundane vipassana knowledge. The conformity knowledge, Nuloma Jnana. The change of lineage knowledge, Kudravu Jnana. These 9 types of vipassana knowledge has one number 5 to number 13 make up the third stage of vipassana. The last 3 make up the 4th stage of vipassana. The first 2 supramundane, the last one is mundane. Vipassana meditation 4th stage. The last 3 vipassana knowledges, the birth knowledge, the fruition knowledge, Magga Jnana and Phala Jnana. The reviewing knowledge, Pichavakana Jnana. These last 3 types of knowledge are what the Buddha is referring to in his description of the 4th and the last stage of vipassana. And then the Buddha concludes his description of the people who practices Anapanasati. As then bhikkhus a bhikkhu advice contemplated the body and the body, Kayika Viharati. The practice of the 4 foundations of mindfulness is Samatha Vipassana, meditation. In every session of the Mahatripurana Sutta, the Buddha's very brief instruction for Vipassana means nothing less than that you need to contemplate all 5 clinging aggregates, all 4 mindfulness foundations, as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. To do so, you need first to define and distinguish each type of phenomena, the body and the body, feelings and feelings, consciousness in consciousness, Dhammas in Dhammas. As we have also discussed before that, you need to develop sufficient concentration, and that is samatha. Even though the Buddha's explanations of the fourth Satipatthana seem different according to these sections, they are ultimately the same according to the meaning. Hence, when we discuss the in and out-breath section of the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the explanations applying to the other sections too. Finally, please remember the Buddha's words at the beginning of the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. The only way bhikkhus is this path. Nikayano yam bhikkhave bhikkhava, for being purification, for sorrow and lamentations overcoming, for pain and displeasures disappearance, for the true ways attainment, for nibbana's realization. That is the four foundations of mindfulness, Chattara Satipatthana. May you all practice the four foundations of mindfulness diligently, only way for the attainment of the supramundane noble eightfold path, which realizes Nibbana, the unformed element of Sankata Dhatu, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.